Welcome back to another video. Clockdown Sports back at it again. Lots and lots to talk about. I'm here with my boy Jay, OG podcast, just the two of us.
Yeah, just the two of us.
Hey,
We can make it if we try.
Leon,
Yeah.
hey.
Oh man, what is going on, everybody? It has been an exciting week leading up into the Super Bowl, and we are excited to talk about it all. Z, what do you want to start with?
So, Jay, there's lots and lots to talk about. This has been the craziest coaching cycle I've ever seen in my entire life. So, I want to go and start with the top 10 head coaching candidates. I'm going to rank them first to last.
Okay.
So, let's start at the negative, then go positive.
Okay.
At number 10 is your coach for your boy Shedeur Sanders. Number 10 is Todd Monken, a 60-year-old coach who's never been a head coach at any level, getting the job for the Browns, the worst organization in the entire NFL. At number 9, we have Mike LaFleur. Yes, the brother of Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay's best friend, basically. He's coming from the McVay tree. We don't know much about him. He called plays once for the Jets, and yes, it is the Jets, but he was fired by Robert Saleh, and he was the OC for the Rams, probably in charge of game planning, studying film, and putting the game plan together. But he didn't call plays for the Rams. We'll see what happens. Young guy, got the job of his dreams, so we'll see. Don't know much about him. At number 8, Jeff Hafley. Yes, he's a very successful defensive guy, but the league is trending towards offense. I don't know how good he is. I think he's a solid B minus to a B higher. He's a safe move. Nothing's flashy, nothing special, but he'll stabilize the culture there. Number 7, Joe Brady. Listen, he was the OC for Josh Allen. Yes, the Bills put up points, but is that because of Josh Allen being Superman or Joe Brady just, was it Joe Brady schemes? I can't think of one Joe Brady signature play except for the hook and ladder. He does that very well. But other than that, I don't think Joe Brady's was a hot candidate this year, and I think the Bills made a safe move, just like the Dolphins. Speaking of safe moves, how about the Steelers going with offensive version of Mike Tomlin? He's basically just another Mike Tomlin, but with an offensive background. I do think the Steelers win a few more games just because the league is trending towards offense, and Mike McCarthy can win 12 games with a good quarterback. As long as you have a good quarterback, the Steelers will be able to win games. They just won't be able to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, Clint Kubiak. This guy, offensive mastermind. I think the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that later. But he's an offensive genius, another like McVay, Shanahan, Ben Johnson kind of guy. And he's going to a shitty organization in the Raiders. But Kubiak will be able to pick his quarterback, Mendoza, with the number 1 pick. So I think that's a great hire. Number 4, Jesse Minter. He's basically like a Mike McDonald, a young, smart defensive guy for the Ravens to be paired with Lamar Jackson. Love that move. And the top 3, Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh, yes, you might think he's not a good coach. I actually think he's a great coach. He got the Jets to be competitive at 7-10. That's an accomplishment in of itself. And he's going to a team with Cam Ward on a rookie deal and a lot of cap space. Number 2, Kevin Stefanski, the former Browns coach, 2-time coach of the year, got the Browns to the playoffs, and won a playoff game with the Browns. So he's got a lot of weapons at his disposal. He's going to be fantastic and probably the best coach in the division, in my opinion. Number 1, I know it's the obvious pick, but John Harbaugh. This guy's a proven winner. He's going to stabilize the Giants. Their floor is going to be 8 to 9 wins every single year. And for the Giants in the past 10 years, that's all they need. That is their Super Bowl, Jay, to just be mid.
Yeah, just be mid. That's all you need sometimes. Just be mid.
Just be mid. So, Jay, what do you think of that list? Do you agree or disagree with anything that I said?
Well, you're gonna know when I go down my list because it's funny. Strangely enough, we think similarly on most things with football and sports as a whole. So let's just say my list isn't much different. A few guys are switched around, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from 10 to 1. So at number 10, I have Mike LaFleur. The Arizona Cardinals hire him. And to me, I don't know. It just feels like, you shift to LaFleur after Clint Kubiak. I don't really know much about him. Like you said, you don't know much about him. Clint Kubiak chose the Raiders over the Cardinals, so understandable. But it just feels like it's one of those uncertain things. Instead of watering your defense, vice versa, you're gonna do something that's probably not gonna help you the best. So we're gonna go number 10, Michael LaFleur, excuse me. Number 9, we're gonna go with that Browns guy, Todd Monken. It's a high friction hire, man. I'm gonna be 100% honest. He is an offensive upgrade, yes, but I feel like the move is just it's controversial. It's already caused a rift with Jim Schwartz. We know about that. He's threatening. It's threatening to break Cleveland's elite defense. So we'll see how that works out. But that's my number 9 pick. My number 8 pick is going to be Jeff Hafley for the Dolphins. Very intriguing pivot. I don't think it's the worst move on the list, which is why it's at the bottom half of it. That's why it's number 8. But it's, to me, I don't know. I just feel like Miami might be just tired of an offensive genius. I don't know. Those also offensive geniuses, they often melt down. So, hey, man, they just want defensive toughness. We'll see how it goes, but I don't think it's a great move. Number 7, Steelers, Mike McCarthy. We talked about this already. We talked about how it's just a comfortability thing. It's the safest floor. He replaces Tomlin, and, he's a veteran who doesn't lose but doesn't necessarily do well either. Tends to collapse, but the Steelers fans are already arguing that it's just more of the same. So I'm going to go with Mike McCarthy, number 7. Number 6 is where I'm going to put Joe Brady for the Bills. I think this is the biggest boomer bust situation, if you ask me. I think that promoting an OC anywhere, it shows that a team is doubling down, and that's exactly what the Bills are doing. They're doubling down on Josh Allen's window, but I don't know. Firing McDermott, who is a 36-year-old veteran head coach, is a massive gamble. He's been a pretty successful coach nonetheless, but we'll see how that goes. Number 5, we're going to go with Robert Saleh to the Titans. This is a revenge tour, man. I think that this is one of those things. You pair Saleh with that defense, with his defensive mind, his defensive intensity, upgraded coaching staff. It's just one of the most aggressive moves Tennessee has made in a long time. So shouts out to that. I think that he'll be pretty good. Number 4, before we move into the top 3, Jesse Minter for the Ravens. High upside. I love that pick. Honestly, he would have been a little higher, but there are a few other better moves, if you ask me, on this list. But they're promoting a defensive guru who knows the Ravens' DNA, ensures their identity, doesn't leave with Harbaugh, and he's just got that winning feel to him. So, and he's just a hungry guy. So I love that. He's my number 4. As for the number 3, we're gonna go Kevin Stefanski. Obviously, a clinical hire. He proves that the Falcons, they just, I don't know. They're looking to enhance their offense. They already have an explosive offense, and with I've been hearing the word adult supervision because Raheem Morris, it's just not, it wasn't really working out. He's just too young. It's just not. He doesn't have any veteran presence. But a guy like Stefanski, he brings that, and that's a good move for the Falcons, if you ask me. Number 2 is going to be Clint Kubiak to the Raiders. A massive win. This is a massive win for both the Raiders and Tom Brady. As you know, Tom Brady is a owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, excuse me. And Kubiak, he's a QB whisperer. We know that. And he's tasked with building around this number 1 overall pick in Mendoza, like you said already. So I think that is going to be something that the Raiders are going to end up looking really good in the future and in the near future. I think the next 2-3 years we have a conversation about them possibly being a playoff team. We'll see what happens. But obviously, number 1, I think most football fans, we agree, John Harbaugh to the Giants. I said it as soon as this hire was made, given how the Giants played even on this horrible, horrific losing season. I think that with the talent that they have, just the pure talent, what they've built, pairing that with what John Harbaugh brings to any organization, I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a sleeper team next year. Both of us need to watch out because I think that the Giants are going to be legit. They desperately needed a culture shifter for Jackson Dart because that's exactly what Jackson Dart is. And now they got a Super Bowl winning coach who brings instant credibility and culture to this franchise. And that's been the vibe for years. So that's my top 10. I know it took longer than expected, but I just wanted to break down why I picked those guys.
Now you're good, Jay. I just want to point out, I think people like to compare John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, and that's okay because they've had a bitter rivalry for 20 years or something. But the difference between John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh at least sees the difference and sees the change the NFL is making with offensive players. It's John Harbaugh being with the Ravens for 18 years, he has the same personnel. Same with Mike Tomlin. But Mike Tomlin chooses defense over offense. But John Harbaugh prioritizes offense over defense. So at least John Harbaugh has seen the trend. He's not a schemer like Ben Johnson or McVay, but at least John Harbaugh sees the trends and is smart to adapt. Mike Tomlin could never adapt. Same with Mike McCarthy. I just want to point that out.
No, okay. I agree 100%.
And I think the Giants are going to be better than the Cowboys. Sorry, Joey.
I think the same thing too. I mean, it's a possibility depending on how things go. They might be better than the Eagles. We'll see how that goes. It depends on how it goes. A coach like that, putting him next to a guy like Jackson Dart, you got Malik Neighbors, you got Abdul Carter, you got Thibodeau, you got a really, and if Cam Scatterbo heals up, you got him too. You got an elite team there, and you got a guy who knows how to form teams. So,
ooh, Jay, what a hot take!
And we're in shambles right now. The Eagles are in shambles.
Well, let's switch gears into the OCDC talk. Let's talk about your guy. You just hired Sean Mannion, a former backup journeyman quarterback. He's only like 30-something years old. QB coach for the Packers, promoted to OC. Now, obviously, we don't know who he is. But what does that say for the state of where the Eagles fans are right now? You're getting an unknown guy, a QB coach, to be your play caller in a pivotal year. I think Sirianni's on the hot seat. So this is make or break for Sirianni.
That is what they say. They say that he's on the hot seat. Listen, man, I don't hate the move. I think that it's one of those things like, yeah, I think obviously we were getting kind of desperate to find somebody. I think that it's one of those moves that it's going to show in the season immediately.
Like that first game, like you're going to see it like right away.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is fresh. I want to keep you in mind. This guy is fresh out of the NFL. He was just a backup quarterback in 2023. What he spent 2024 as, like you said, the assistant in Green Bay, the QB coach. Now he's 33, and he's the OC for Jalen Hurts. By the way, feel bad for that guy. This is his, I don't even know how many play caller, and since he's been playing football, it feels like. But listen, here's the deal. He is a direct branch. He's a direct branch off of that Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay tree. That is a good thing. So here's what Howie Roseman and the Eagles are betting on. They're betting that he could bring that illusion of complexity, even if it's not 100% complex. He is betting that he could bring that illusion of complexity, that heavy pre-snap motion, that under center play action, to an offense that looked stagnant and predictable last season, reminiscent of the 2023 season. So listen, man, there is risk factor. He doesn't have any play calling experience at any level. He is the fifth OC for Nick Sirianni every year now. And that smells like a desperation gamble. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think that it could be successful given the right nurturing and keep the drama out of it.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I can't say it's good, mid, or bad just because I don't know who Sean Mannion is. But I will say you're taking a big gamble, and look at I want to talk about the trends going on. I have a list. Davis Webb, David Blau, Declan Doyle, Sean Mannion, Chris O'Leary. Those guys are in OC or DC positions, and they are in their early 30s. David Blau just turned 30. Sean Mannion's 33. Declan Doyle's 29. And they have a high-end position. Sean Payton fired Joe Lombardi of 15 years he's been with him to promote Davis Webb to the Broncos. And Davis Webb was a passing game coordinator interviewing for head coaching opportunities. Everyone is going younger nowadays.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by the move. I think it could be a great move, and it could be a home run hire, like you said.
It could be, and especially with he's a QB coach, and he has done a very. But I want to keep that in mind. He's done a very good job on QBs. It's not like he's just some random QB coach from anywhere. He's worked on Jordan Love. He has history working with elite quarterbacks in this league, and he is one of the big reasons. I'm not saying he's the whole reason. That's unrealistic, but he is one of the big reasons that Jordan Love and the Packers found their offensive footing. Now it didn't amount to much. We see that, we know that, but I feel like if it wasn't for his coaching style and the work he did with him, that it might not have looked the same. So maybe he does the same thing for Jalen. Jalen has that criticism, what Jalen can and cannot do, and da-da-da-da-da. Maybe he nurtures Jalen. Maybe he says, hey, we're going to work on you throwing over the middle. We're going to work on you staying strong in the pocket and not bailing out after 2 seconds. We're going to work on these things, and we're going to nurture them, and it's going to make you a better quarterback. That's what I'm hoping. That's what the Eagles. That's what Howie Roseman is hoping.
Hey man, if First fixes that, he's gonna.
And let me just say something really quick. If it doesn't work,
everyone's fired. You're gone.
Bye-bye, Nick Sirianni. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, Fangio was thinking about retirement, so this could be his last year.
Yeah.
Because let's say you fire Sirianni and then Fangio retires, you're looking for 3 new positions.
Looking for a whole new thing. Yeah. It sucks to say that Sirianni's on the hot seat, though. Like, I just feel like that's...
It is what it is. Doug Peterson was fired for, like, a disagreement. That last game got him fired. And he won a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah. It sucks, though, because it's like Nick Sirianni is currently, as we speak, one of the most winningest coaches in the entire National Football League. I mean, just percentage-wise.
I do think that's a little overrated, and I'll say this because Bill Belichick is in the top 5 on the winning percentage list. And we know Bill Belichick has the most rings of any head coach.
Yeah. You can look at it multiple ways, though. I mean, Nick Sirianni, if we're talking about right now, he has 2 rings, right? So, no, he has one ring. He has 1 ring.
Forget how many rings he got.
No, well, because I keep forgetting we lost that year. We should have won to the Chiefs.
Okay, let me ask you this. If, let's say, the Eagles fire Sirianni, do you think he's going to be a hot name candidate for head coaching opportunities like John Harbaugh was?
Yes. You got to think about something. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. That's not like something that just comes along. You know what I'm saying? That's a dime a dozen in the NFL. You know what I mean? He is a perennial playoff coach, number 1. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, number 2. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, number 3. And like I said before, he has his problems, he has his flaws, but I think the biggest thing you take away is that he connects with the team. Everyone says, oh, he's losing the locker room. I think that there's just going to be frustration in that locker room, period, regardless, just because of how things have been going. But when they're all winning, everything's all good. I think that's just kind of how it goes in the NFL.
Wow.
So
I disagree. I think Sirianni, he can float the Super Bowl ring as his calling card, but when he gets to that team, his true colors are going to show and his true coaching is going to show, and it's not going to be good. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say who's going to get fired next year because there's always going to be openings. But let's just say like a mid team. Can we just say a mid team like, oh God, the Bucks. Okay, the Bucks. Sirianni goes to the Bucks, right? They're a playoff team, right?
Yeah.
Can Sirianni elevate that team to a Super Bowl, or is it just going to stay at the level or get worse? My opinion, it'll just get worse if Sirianni goes to the Bucks. That's my take. I think he will get hired, no doubt, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be a great coach.
You don't think he's going to have the same success?
Not at all. Just because I think the team is built around. I think Howie's the star, and there are many ways to win, like roster construction. The Eagles have that with Howie leading the charge. The Eagles win in the trenches with the O-line and D-line in 24. Vic Fangio was like the star of the Super Bowl, in my opinion, just the way he orchestrated the defense into not letting the Chiefs cross the the 50-yard line for 3.5 quarters, close to four. It was a blanket, bro. It was like
Well,
I was just kept waiting for that Mahomes. I know we talk about the Eagles a lot, but I was just kept waiting for that Mahomes magic to happen, and it never came.
yeah, yeah.
That's how I think, and that's just my take.
I
do
don't know.
think
See, if he's not on the Eagles anymore, you're not going to hear me defend him because I don't have a reason. I have no stake in that race. I said it. I'm an Eagles fan before I'm anybody's fan. Okay, so you know how much I love Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts goes to the Cowboys tomorrow, I'm gonna hate that motherfucker. You understand me?
Well, listen, if Hurts gets traded, let's just say hypothetically he gets traded or something, I just want to be able to say I'm right. I've always been right, and that's it.
Hold on. You know what? I hope you'll eat your words. You want to know how? I don't want to say that, but God forbid Jaden Daniels gets hurt.
Oh,
and guess what happens? You pick up a free agent Jalen Hurts, and you have to be tasked with defending him. You have to be the one.
Never gonna happen. Never. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I can't believe you said injuries or something. That's the. I didn't even.
I don't want to say. I don't hope that. I want to see everyone be well, but
be healthy.
God forbid it happens. And you have to pick a quarterback.
What words have power? Words have power, Jay. I don't even wish that upon Jalen Hurts. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the best OC and DC hires league wide. Okay, I'm gonna throw some names at you. The elite names: Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll, are elite hires for OC jobs. Former head coaches, very smart schematic wise. Some under the radar hires, I think are very good. Jim Leonard, that was Joey's guy for the Cowboys DC position. He goes to Buffalo. Okay. Eric Bieniemy going back to the Chiefs. Chiefs offense has always been better under Bieniemy as OC. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Bieniemy's coaching style or whatever he does in practice, but Mahomes responds better with EB on the staff.
I'm waiting for one name.
And Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick was a great OC for the Texans year one. Obviously, year two, bad, got fired. Passing game coordinator for the Dolphins. I think that's a sneaky good hire. I think Bobby Slowick comes back into the ranks as one of the top OCs. And I don't know if you know this, the Commanders interviewed Bobby Slowick after Slowick's first year as OC for the Texans. Obviously, he didn't have that much experience. We didn't hire him, but we could have went down that route. So I think Slowick's a really smart guy. Any thoughts? Any people you want to add in that category?
Yeah. Slowick was definitely one of the names I was thinking of. I was thinking of two specifically. So Slowick definitely, I agree there. And I want to talk about another very underrated hire to me. Declan Doyle to the Ravens. OC. Bears OC. Snagging him to work with Lamar Jackson is a stealthy, sneaky good move. He is a run game specialist. He fits with the Ravens' physical identity. The Ravens are a very run heavy team between Jackson and Derrick Henry. So honestly, man, I think that is him being a run game specialist. That's the best way to nurture that offense. That is how you build a team. So that's one. And then obviously, let me talk about something that I think is a bad hire. So that was a positive. Let me do a negative.
Ooh, okay.
Tommy Reese to the Browns.
Wasn't he with the Browns before?
I think so, but he's one of those guys. He's the young genius, man. He's just the young genius. Listen, man.
Sorry. Tommy Reese is on the Falcons. He's the
yes,
OC
he was on the Falcons. Yes, he was an OC on the Falcons. And he, like I said, he's got that young genius thing that everyone gets so hype about. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But he hasn't proven that he can handle a veteran NFL locker room like Cleveland's at all, especially one that's in shambles. And Cleveland needs a power hire.
No, sorry. He's the Falcons OC right now. He was the Browns OC before.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. So we're reversing. Damn, I wrote that all wrong in my notes. I'm bugging. Sorry.
Bro.
Anyway, Anyway, he still fucking sucks, and I think that I think that it's an overrated hire for the Falcons. Even it's an overrated hire for anybody. I'm talking more about him than the team he's playing for. Like I said, that they are a very explosive. I said this earlier. They're a very explosive offense. The Falcons are. But like I said, I think that they, like the Browns, need a power hire. They need somebody that's going to come in there, take the reins, and shift the culture. And while this guy has, while Tommy has a young genius label on him, I just don't think that being experimental is something they need. I think they need somebody with veteran instinct and experience, and that's not who he is. So those are my two, negative and positive.
Oh, I got a few more names to throw at you, Jay. Jonathan Gannon is a bad hire for the Packers. I'm going to tell you why. Yes, the Eagles with Gannon as DC had an elite defense, but was it because of Gannon's schemes, or was it because of Howie Roseman grabbing a lot of talent and putting that on the team, with Fletcher Cox leading the way? Now, I think you remember, Jay, when Jonathan Gannon was the DC, the Eagles had always had big leads at halftime, and yet teams always came back. Why is that? It's because Jonathan Gannon ran soft defenses in the second half. He played prevent and allowed a lot of chunk plays and a lot of, 5-10 yards at a time. And teams were able to crawl their way back. They didn't do a lot of like nail in the coffin, like I saw in 24, right? So not a lot of nail in the coffin. And that's because of Jonathan Gannon. Remember in the Super Bowl, Andy Reid and the Chiefs, Mahomes had the ball in the red zone twice. And they scored touchdowns twice, wide open. Well, how is that? How is that possible? Well, part of that was Jonathan Gannon's schemes. On the biggest stage, in the biggest moment, you let the Chiefs score twice in the end zone without anyone near them. So that is coaching malpractice at best. Jonathan Gannon, horrible, horrible DC, bad hire. He's basically like the Sirianni of DCs, in my opinion.
You think Nick Sirianni is just the worst coach in the league, huh?
I think he's the most overrated coach in the
How? No. Wait a minute. How?
Yes.
This is where like it's the same thing with like Jalen Hurts. When people say he's the most overrated quarterback in the league.
I don't
who's overrating him? What top 5 have you ever seen him on besides anyone in Philadelphia?
It's just guys talk to Eagles fans a lot, so you guys put him top 5. Like,
well, of course, because we're fucking fans of the team. Of course we're going to put him top 5. But overrated for me, right? Like, I'm not saying he is. But, like, Josh Allen is overrated. Not saying he is overrated. But, like, if someone were to say, if say a bunch of people were to say, oh, Josh Allen's the best quarterback of all time, right?
Oh, well,
no one's saying that. That would, and say ESPN start talking about it, and whatever the case is.
No one's saying he's the GOAT. Tom Brady is always.
No, I know. I'm giving just context and an example. Say ESPN and Bleacher Report and a bunch of people start saying that he was the greatest of all time, or whatever the case is. That means he's overrated because, like, let's be real, bro. Like, he wasn't overrated. Emmitt Smith overrated because there's a reason why. But how can we say that? Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are overrated when no one respects them enough to rate them high at all?
I think coaches and especially the media do try to give Sirianni more credit. I think fans don't give Sirianni credit. I think that's the difference. I do read articles where they defend Sirianni's winning percentage. The media talks about Sirianni's winning percentage. You talk to coaches in interviews, they praise, like McVay praised Sirianni's win percentage, like he did. And I think its peers respect him. I don't think fans do. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
With Hurts, probably the same thing. The media and the fans, outside of Philly, don't like him. I think teammates love him. I'll say that. But I don't want to talk about that too much, just because we have 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion and my.
Yeah, we'll have to we keep saying we're gonna have to have another show, just for that.
When I'm more free, we'll do a couple. We'll add another. But I just want to throw a couple names out there who are bad. Drew Petzing, he was the former Cardinals OC with Jonathan Gannon. Now he's going to be tasked with trying to save Goff and the Lions and getting them to be a Super Bowl contender as their OC. Jay, do you see that? I don't see that. I think he's a bad hire.
No, I think it's a bad hire too. It's like I said, once again, it's a lot of this right now. Just a lot of
But I can say he's
random
bad
shit happening
because I saw him have bad results with Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's like you're just rinsing and repeating. Declan Doyle and Sean Mannion, I don't know, but I know who Drew Petzing is. Bad OC.
He's a bad hire. Yeah, he's a bad hire. Like you said, the Cardinals have not been anything special. What's weird to me is that these people are looking. These like coaches are looking at this shit and they're just like, yeah, I think this guy will be good. Maybe there's something that we don't see that they see, because they just have an eye for talent. And who knows? Maybe it is a good hire and we just don't know. But doesn't seem like it's going to amount to much for me. I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either. And then another name I want to throw at you who's a bad hire. And Bleacher Report said he was the fourth best hire in all the coaching hirings in the entire league. Zach Robinson, OC to the Bucks. First of all, Jay, don't even get me started. Hold on. This man would run pistol and shotgun, and you would know if it's a run or a pass. Pistol would be the run, shotgun's the pass. He put up a big goose egg against the Carolina Panthers. Yes, the Panthers made the playoffs, but at the point, the Panthers were ass and always thought of as ass. Zach Robinson, horrible OC. He worked for PFF, right? He worked for PFF, and PFF was shitting on Zach Robinson's schemes and offensive philosophies in the article. So your take, Jay, very quickly.
I mean, listen, Zach Robinson is he's the Baker whisperer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the Baker whisperer.
He's the Baker whisperer.
What does that mean, Baker whisperer?
He formed Baker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Listen, Baker and him have a short but legendary history. Would you agree?
It's short, but my God, really? It's like one game. Not even one game, one series.
Listen, they did say it is true that after Zach Robinson got with Baker, he was a better quarterback.
Oh,
it was a significant and the thing is, apparently Baker pushed for the hire.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That's what I heard that. I don't know if it's true.
I don't like players pushing for coaching hires. Even if you're like Lamar and Josh Allen's talent.
He wants the Sean McVay style back. Okay,
that's cool, but not Zach Robinson.
But that's what he had. That's what he had with Liam Cohen. You know what I'm saying?
Super successful. My God, I can't talk.
Yeah,
super successful.
So listen, I don't know. I don't think it's a great hire. I don't think it's bad. It's one of those experimental hires that we're just gonna have to see how it works. Just expect a lot of attack mode from the Bucks. He's an aggressive guy. Okay. So he's going to be very heavy pre-snap motion, no huddle pace. We're going to see a lot of like young football. Once again, another one of those, offensive geniuses or whatever the case is. We'll see what happens. But, like I said, experimental hire. I'm not going to say it's good or bad yet. I know what you're saying. I get it 100%. But like I said, they're going to go with chemistry any day, and him and Baker do have a chemistry.
All right. Let's go to two mid-hires, Jay. Number one, Raheem Morris. Yes, he was the DC when the Rams won the Super Bowl, but again, was it his scheme, or was it Aaron Donald and Von Miller leading the charge? So he's a safe hire for the Niners, head coaching experience twice, DC experience for Kyle Shanahan, and then Matt Nagy to the Giants as OC. I would give Matt Nagy credit for getting Mitch Trubisky and the Bears to the playoffs twice.
Yeah.
But is he the best offensive schemer and wizard out there? I don't think so. Matt Nagy might be the rare kind of guy who might be a better CEO guy rather than a schemer, which is kind of weird. Any quick thoughts before we move on to the Super Bowl matchup?
You saying Raheem Morris?
Raheem Morris, yes, and Matt Nagy mid-hires.
I once again, it's another comfort hire, if you ask me. It could backfire. I think it's a kind of a nepotism thing. Not obviously daddies or anything like that, but Kyle Shanahan has been trying to hire that man since 2017. We know that, and we know that they're always going to strive towards familiarity. and it's great. But I don't know if it's better for the team. It wasn't really a long, exhaustive search or anything like that. So they seemed like they just kind of made a quick decision. And like I said, I think Kyle Shanahan had a lot to do with it. It was Nick Sirianni hiring Kevin Patullo. You know what I'm saying? It was Kyle Shanahan hiring his best friend. And that's what I got out of it.
Okay,
so we'll see.
All right, so let's talk about the Super Bowl matchup. Jay, I got the Seahawks winning by 10 points at least. I'm going to go 35-25. I think it's going to be a little high-scoring game. I think the Seahawks have a better roster. Yeah, and I think the Seahawks are the better team. Like I said, the Rams-Seahawks was the Super Bowl, and whatever team was going to come out the NFC at that game was going to win the Super Bowl, and it's going to be the Seahawks. And Sam Darnold, no, Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to win Super Bowl MVP. Call it. Your take.
Yeah, you know what? It's the Darnold redemption. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I've said two things. I said that I don't know. I've seen Sam Darnold choke too many times in big moments. I also said that I think that Drake May might be a potential fraud. So if I'm going to take the lesser of the two evils, I think it is Darnold redemption season. It is the biggest story in football. He just led a 14-3 Seattle team to the Super Bowl. He has been lights out. He threw for over 4,000 yards this year, 31 touchdowns. He has been probably one of, if not the most consistent, not the most, but one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league. You got JSN. That's a factor that he's not just a star. Okay. He is literally the man. He is the league leader in yards. Over 1,700. In the Patriots secondary, yeah, Mike Vrabel is an elite coach, but he just hasn't seen a route runner this precise like JSN all year. So listen, man, if JSN gets going early, if you get Sam Darnold playing lights out like he's been playing, it's going to be a masterclass, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I think that Drake May is going to, I truly believe that. Why? This is the closest Seattle defense that we've seen since the Legion of Boom. This is the closest to the Legion of Boom that we've seen since that era. True or false?
All right, score prediction and Super Bowl MVP really quick.
Score prediction, let me say I'm going to go 31-17 Seattle. And the Super Bowl MVP is going to be Sam Darnold for his big redemption arc. And that's how it's going to end.
Wow. And there you have it, folks. So thank you guys for watching so much. Like, comment, subscribe. What we should talk about next down below in the comments. NBA trade deadline is coming up after the Super Bowl. So be on the lookout.
Free Paul George, y'all. Free Paul George. That's all I got to say. free my nigga Paul.
At the end of the day, watch Bad Bunny. He's going to kill it. Grammy, Album of the Year. Beat time. Deuces. We'll catch y'all later after the Super Bowl.
Watch Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny's my guy.